I think I can actually work on it. I can probably get there. By Halloween, I'm just gonna dress up as
Chewy, punch it. Oh, I love it.
because he has to make a sound as he punches it.
Not even doing anything in the shit. That's all that really meant.
Who goes there?
Oh, it's you. Come on in. Welcome to the Scumm Bar.
Welcome to the Scumm Bar Podcast, where we talk movies, video games, pop cultures, potatoes, and everything in between. Yeah, I wrote it down. I had to say it. It's like Ron Burgundy. Whatever's written on the sheet, you gotta say. So,
Okay.
anyways, I'm your host, Mattbrush. With me today is
Anth0z.
Shocker. Who else was it gonna be? But you're looking great today. Very handsome. I'd say you're Ben Hanscom today.
That's supposed to be.
That's a reference to It.
Oh, okay.
If anybody knows Ben, the fat kid, and his last name happens to be Hanscom, which
I see.
I always thought was Stephen King maybe trying to put the word handsome on a fat kid.
It sounds like he
Did?
try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And ironically, Ben Hanscom grows up to be a very handsome man.
Okay.
So there you go.
Wait, did you say he was big and fat? Or
He is big and fat.
what is? There's
The big and fat story.
there's that actor who was in I don't know some movie when he was a lot younger. He was like this bully that was invited onto this trip with a bunch of other kids and like their brothers, and then they accidentally killed him. But he was like this big fat kid. It was just like really annoying. And then he grew up and started maybe he started working out, slimming
The
down.
actor?
This is the actor. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
In real life, he became like this cute, heartthrob kind of actor. It's almost like the Neville story. Neville Longbottom.
Oh, Neville?
Sorry, Neville.
Neville?
Neville was how I pronounced it in my head.
Excuse
Because
me?
of like Cruella DeVille. So I thought, it's Neville. It's not Cruella Devil.
Long bottom Neville. Oh, that's weird.
Anyway,
You want to hear a joke?
usually.
Good. What are the 10 letters in the pirate alphabet?
I really want to figure it out, but it's going to take too long. I'm sure I and R must be in there. Okay, just tell me.
It's I, R, and the 7 C's. It's pretty perfect.
Well, I was actually pretty close.
You were. Now I can put this notepad away.
Thank
I don't
you.
want to have to look at that note anymore. I hope you enjoyed that.
Remember these.
Anth0z,
Mattbrush.
what are we drinking?
What we be drinking?
What we be drinking today?
I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I'm assuming, is this neutral? Or is it not real?
It looks like it's Danish, possibly. It's got the what do you call those?
Accents. I don't know.
It's got the accents on the U.
like the Uber.
It's N-U-T-R-L, neutral, I would assume.
It's not real.
Nutral? Nut real.
The real nut of vodka.
Could be nut real. It says vodka, period, soda, period, lemon, period.
You have periods?
Yeah.
Oh, I see the periods now.
Yeah.
I see.
Oh, it's also BC.
Hey, I just realized.
Once again, BC.
Because there are these two in this logo.
Yeah.
Over the U. There's two lemons instead of the dots. And I thought those were eyeballs, and the U is a big smile.
Ah. Yeah, so I think it's...
Clink.
Okay. Let's try it. Let's see how it tastes.
Wait, is this what?
Tastes like a big old thing of nothing. Is there anything in there? Is there any alcohol in there?
Oh, you know what? I think this is supposed to be like
Ah.
the low alcohol, sort of like sparkling water beverage.
Oh, okay.
Flavored sparkling water.
Yeah, it's got 5% alcohol in it. It's 473 milliliter, and it's vodka soda citron. So I would say lemon soda water with vodka in it. And that's exactly what it tastes like, except for I don't taste the vodka at all.
Whoa, hey.
What?
Distilled and bottled by blah, 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 blah. Vancouver, BC, Canada.
Vancouver, BC, Canada?
It's really local.
Vancouver, BC, Canada there, bro.
Local vodka.
Well, I think we got ourselves a little local beer there, eh? What do you think of that one?
Oh, what did you think about that?
Oh, I think that's cool. I think that's real cool what they did there. They put the it's Minnesota now suddenly. It's like Fargo or something. Oh, Margie, we got the new Vancouver drink over here. I think it's about the same. It's about the same. Minnesota, Vancouver.
Vancouver?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Minnesota and Newfoundland?
Yeah, more like that because we don't sound like that in Vancouver. Clearly, we sound like this.
Like this.
So, what's next on the topic target there? Okay, ye old news.
Yep.
Oh, it's me. Moving on down the line. I guess I gotta do all the work around here, but okay. I guess they want me to do it.
You didn't ask.
Yeah, I'll do it. Okay, so a study came out that says Fortnite was cited as a reason for 200 divorces in the UK.
What?
So, I guess people filing for divorce, and it had the term Fortnite in it, describing that the husband plays too much Fortnite, and therefore they need a divorce. I just thought I'd bring that up because Fortnite is so popular now that they were saying that they had to actually cite Fortnite as a reason for divorce.
Okay.
Shocker.
I actually thought at first maybe they weren't referring to the game Fortnite, but there was some sort of issue with like...
I hadn't seen him in a Fortnite.
Or like instead of like a one-night stand, they had like a Fortnite stand.
Oh God,
like
that sounds grotesque.
Does it?
No, it's... Depends on your definition, but Fortnite, the game, was cited in the divorce papers, and yeah. So what does that say? What do you think that says?
Well, that says Fortnite was cited. No. What are you trying to tell me?
What do you think that says is a statement on humanity right now?
Well, I don't know what to think about that. Like, how much research actually went into determining how strongly Fortnite played a part in these divorces?
Well, they wrote it as the reason.
But
then it eventually became the reason on the actual divorce papers.
Okay, well, if that's just legitimately the reason for these divorces, then...
I don't think there's a wife coming to the lawyer saying, he plays too many video games, for example, and then the lawyer goes, I'll just write Fortnite. I don't think that happens.
I don't know, something about that just screams this was not working out from the beginning.
I agree. 1,000%.
Like,
Preach.
Okay.
Yeah. I agree. I think Fortnite doesn't mean anything. I think it's a video game part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So well, that's that.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting though. It said they came out in that paper there. They came out and they said he said it's unheard of. They'd never seen that there on paper saying Fortnite.
They don't read.
No, apparently they just haven't had to change the terminology much from like criminal acts to like drugs to alcohol abuse or like depression or anything like that. They haven't had to add Fortnite as a terminology on there, and that's the first time. So I thought, hey, I'm gonna bring it up because we don't talk about video games all that much. We're going to move on to the next one. Do you want to read this headline I wrote so nicely for you?
If you really, really want me to.
Go ahead and read it. I want to hear your beautiful voice.
Well, there's a new app called Snapcrap, and it wants to help clean up San Francisco's streets.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. So this is just want to throw this in there because it's technology. I like technology, so I want to throw it in. Snapcrap, an app created by a San Francisco-based engineer, invites residents to take pictures of human feces in the streets and requests urgent cleaning by the city's public works department. The launch of the app comes as the city struggles with issues of homelessness and cleanliness. This actually is a major issue happening to the California state right now. So
this says miles more than the whole Fortnite issue. Like, what? Holy
it's funny, they're both kind of social issues that have to deal with digital trends is I guess what I was going for on these, but yeah.
But I don't know, like homelessness it's going to be an issue everywhere you go, and I think lack of hygiene because of that. That's something that people are going to always have to band together in the community, in the public to really clean things up and actually
which we do. We suffer from this here in Vancouver as well. Yeah. There's a lot of homelessness, a lot of parts of the city that need to be cleaned up. And is it? But I guess the question is it exposure? Is it do we need an app to then tell our public works department? Is that what it was? Public works, that they needed to know it was there, or did they already know and they just haven't had the time to go and get it done?
Jeez, I don't know. I really can't speak for San Francisco. I know that Vancouver has their own kind of Connect, I think it's called the Connect app or.
Oh, they have an app for this.
I think it's like Van Connect.
Oh wow!
So it's a similar app, yeah. Like you're supposed to report maybe like vandalized scenes or broken whatever, or like things that.
Well, normally, you typically just call that in, right?
I think you would, but I think if it has anything to do with like the city of Vancouver, like provincial, so municipal, provincial, and federal bodies trying to move towards like paperless and digital aspects, I feel like this is probably just like another step in that direction.
Right.
That it's just a lot more accessible if you can have an app on your phone and take a picture, send it in, and then now whoever needs to see it and have all that info has it just at their fingertips. Whereas if you need to call in, how are you going to describe? I mean, you can say like, well, I'm at this street, but I'm just like a few doors down, and it looks like this. There's poo that's red and green, and I don't know. Like obviously, you're gonna have to talk about some more detail. That is, say like, well, there's a broken window in this abandoned house, and there's somebody's living inside it. I don't know. Yeah. Well, anyway, what I'm trying to say is, it just seems a lot more. It's a lot easier to just take a picture and send it in on an app than it is to call.
Describing it,
yeah. Well, yeah, describe it. You still gotta wait on the line for something to pick up,
right?
And then there can only be so many people on the other end waiting.
Yeah, it sounds a lot more automated, and it's the next step towards automation of this kind of stuff, which is nice. Yeah. I think that we already have similar aspects in the security world. We have what's that, Ring or whatever you can install on your doors at home, so you can now have a service where if motion is detected or if there's somebody that you don't want there, you can pull up the feed on your phone. And now it like protects you that kind of way. And then this data gets sent to this company so they can review all these kinds of different kinds of break-ins, right? So we're getting much more data collected about this kinds of stuff, so it's easier to track. I think in the end, it's just an example of the digital trends going in this way that's going to help us overall. I think it's nice.
Well, yeah, I think I totally missed the boat, is that missed the boat?
You missed the boat, don't miss the boat, baby. Miss the boat, don't miss the boat, over. Sorry, not really lyrics, but whatever.
What song was that?
That was Rock the Boat.
Oh, okay, I don't even know that song. That's fine.
Oh, okay. I know it because of singing salmon bass. Super singing bass. What's that fish? You know that fish that talks? It talks on the wall?
No.
Singing bass?
Oh, you mean like it's mounted on the wall?
Yeah, and it flips its tail and it sings? Yeah.
And its head pops up.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head right now, but anyways, sorry, go ahead.
I call that a nightmare.
You said you don't know how to say this, but you missed the boat.
So, yeah, all of a sudden I went to Best Buy after maybe like months and months of not going, and they had this whole like smart home section where there's like everything you can buy is you can get connected on your app, and then just like your lights, your lock, I don't know, speakers. It just seemed like there's so much more what's the word? Seamless connection with your home and your phone.
Yes, there's a lot of that.
Give a dog a bone.
Give a dog a bone.
I don't know, something like that. But I totally missed out because before that I was never. Okay, yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
He's gone and alone. I couldn't think of a rhyme. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's fine. I'm done.
Okay.
That's okay.
Well, anyways, betterment of humanity with digitalness. So yeah. Cool. Interesting things happening right now. Lastly, I want to talk about Red Dead Redemption 2, which is releasing soon. And the multiplayer, and it's got multiplayer in it. I'm really excited about that. Are you keeping up on Red Dead Redemption at all?
I'm not.
I don't know if you play it. Do you play Red Dead Redemption?
I played one of them a little bit before, but not enough to really get into it. But I saw the trailer for the latest, maybe one of the latest trailers.
Yeah!
And it looks fun.
It does.
It looks really good.
It does. I'm a big Rockstar fan. I like a lot of the Rockstar games. I don't want to say like I'm a fanboy or anything. I don't go crazy over it all or anything, but...
Would you say you're a fan man?
I'm a fan man, yes, exactly. I make my own choices. I just happen to choose this one time and time again.
Call me fan man.
I don't know.
Fan.
I don't always make my own choices, but when I do, it's Rockstar.
It's Fanny.
Fanny. So the Rockstar games happen to be good. I find their quality to be very good, and so I come back to them constantly. Yeah. And so the new Red Dead I'm very excited for. And what's funny is I don't even really know exactly what I'm excited about. I like the Western style of it. I think it's great. Do I know the gameplay? No, there's a gameplay trailer out there. I haven't even seen it yet. And I almost don't care because I just know the game will be good.
Yeah.
And if I'm wrong, then I will end up speaking on here and being like, well, that sucked. I guess the game sucked. This is the first time Rockstar made a bad game. But I don't think it's going to happen. I have a lot of confidence in this company because I think they've always proven time and time again to be pushing the boundaries. So I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be fantastic. There was talk about first-person mode in the game, which they did in Grand Theft Auto 5 when they ported it over to PS4 and PC.
Oh.
So it was like first person. So the whole game is experienced in first person. That might not sound super crazy, but it is actually, because they have to model everything now for the first person as well. So they have to be able to show it out of your eyes of your character, which then means that there's a lot more detail that has to come in when you're like riding a horse, say, or something like that. So in GTA 5, it was the inside of a car. They had to do the dashes for the cars, which that must have been a nightmare for them, but they did it. And it added a huge layer to GTA 5, so I'm very excited about that with Red Dead. So I'm hoping to see that. And somebody mentioned there was activity. Somebody mentioned fishing is in Red Dead Redemption now. So fishing, yes, you got me at fishing. I'm in for sure. I want to hunt bears. I want to fish. I want to play poker. And those are the only three things that I really care about. And as long as it's Western, done. You got me. I could care whatever else the story is. I'm sure that's great. I trust them. But if those three things are in it, I'm going to spend all my hours playing that.
You know, this reminds me of how people just get so much more immersed in mini games of the games themselves.
The Final Fantasy 15, I did the fishing of that. And I love the fishing in that one. I play it all the time.
I was actually going to mention, was it Final Fantasy X?
Oh.
The one where they play...
Blitzball?
Yeah, Blitzball.
Blitzball, yeah.
Actually, for me, one of my favorite like in-game games. Did you ever play Super Mario RPG?
Oh yeah.
No.
I'm trying to think about what you're about to say.
Okay.
Was some of the tadpoles? There was like a tadpole thing.
I'd say there's a few kind of mini games, but one specifically is more like it's actually like a game within the game. So this one, it's like it is a game within the game. Okay, so this one has to do with beetles. Does that ring a bell?
No.
Okay, you go up to this boy and he's playing on a Game Boy or something like that, and then you keep bugging him, and then he'll let you play it. And I think what you have to do is you have to shoot, like you have something on the bottom and you're shooting up almost like asteroids or whatever. So you're shooting at beetles, and the more beetles that you if you shoot a beetle, it'll like ricochet off other beetles, and you get like all these combos. And you're literally just like shooting at beetles or something like that.
It sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't think I played it very long, if I did.
I think I just played it for hours and hours.
Was this like a kid in the town you would talk to?
Yeah. So in the town, he's inside a home or house or whatever.
I remember the dialogue being really good in that game, and I remember like there's NPCs you talk to, and especially the village, actually, they had such good dialogue. I really enjoyed it, but I don't remember a game like that.
I know that there's beetles. I think, do you shoot a shell at it? I actually can't remember how you played the game.
I remember one of the kids says like, "Oh, you're Mario. You're the guy who can jump really high."
Oh,
and like I think you jump on the bed or something. You can jump like really high, and you like show him how high you can jump. And I remember thinking that moment, like, you felt so heroic. I was like, I'm Mario, like I'm the hero, you know. And it was funny because it was like, oh, he knows of Mario. He knows of all the things Mario did. Yeah, it's interesting. I liked it.
That was one of my favorite games growing up. That was probably the most.
Very good game. Was that also? That was Square Enix, wasn't it? I think it was Square Enix partnered with Nintendo to make that game.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, which is I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it was, and it's very well done. That kind of became the Paper Mario series over time.
It did, and
I know I like Paper Mario on N64 and on GameCube.
Yeah.
Thousand Year Door I think is the best one, but
I heard a lot
on
about
GameCube. But I do think the Super Nintendo Super Mario RPG, if you take Paper Mario out of it entirely, I think that one is incredible. It's very, very fun. I never actually played it on a Super Nintendo. I only played it emulator, but I played it. I played it when I was young though. This was like 99, I think, is when I played it. So around 99 or 2000 is when I would have been playing it on emulator, and I liked it a lot. It was really fun. So I played it with a keyboard though, and not with a controller. So
I actually feel like the aesthetic of having a controller supposed to use a keyboard makes a bit of a difference in the gameplay. Because some of the abilities you have to use is based on like how fast you can...
The reactionary timing or the combat. And
right. Reactionary timing, but also how fast you can like press a button to use one of like the special abilities.
That's true.
It's a little bit different. Like, I mean, you can click on a mouse in a way, but if you like actually hold the controller in like the most conventional way and try and use your thumb, and it's so difficult, but it's like a nice challenge, and it feels so satisfying
when you get it.
Yeah. Like, oh man.
Yep. That's a good game. It's fun. You can play it today and it's still fun.
Yeah.
That's ye old news.
News.
Answers of the day.
Yeah.
Answers from the previous question. Our question last week was, what series of movies would you like to redo and how? And how? I think you're searching stuff up on your phone, so while you're doing that, I'll read off these ones.
Go ahead.
My girlfriend wanted to pitch in. She said Marvel. What she wanted to do to Marvel was really funny because she had all the power in the world to change the MCU as much as she could. Mm-hmm. And her decision was to... She doesn't really care what we do with Marvel, just as long as it goes back a little bit.
Yeah.
Which I love how vague that is. Just go back a little bit. And add in Black Widow as a movie. So then I had to mention that they're doing a Netflix... Or they're doing their own Disney streaming service, and then I had to mention the Black Widow thing. But no. Just go back a bit in the MCU and add it in as a movie. That was what you wanted to do. So that's the reimagining of the MCU. Just make sure it's the exact same, but just add in Black Widow as a standalone movie.
Cool.
I thought, okay.
Why not?
I'll tell you why not, because they're making a Disney streaming service. They're going to have Black Widow in it, so that's why not.
Okay. But if they didn't?
Do you want to mix in one of yours?
No, just keep going with yours and I'll
Another one I got was Pirates of the Caribbean. Keep the first movie the same, but move forward with Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann and less of the Jack Sparrow angle. And I do think that that's kind of where they fell off of in the Pirates of the Caribbean series. I feel like
quite a bit, actually.
They played up Jack Sparrow way too much and they fell off of the Will Turner aspect. And I think what a lot of us really liked was Will Turner as the main character and Jack being the side character that was so interesting.
Yeah.
I think if they played that up better, then we would have seen a lot more of that. And the second movie, while the second movie's not terrible, it's nowhere near as good as the first, and I think it's because they fall off of the Will aspect of it.
Yeah.
As much as Orlando Broom is kind of just a broom in those movies.
Yeah, he just sticks around and sweeps.
He still had enough depth to be a main.
He had enough Johnny Depp. He had enough Johnny Depp this time for Orlando Bloom.
Plus, I have a
sweep his way through.
I have a huge bias with those movies too because they are very similar to Monkey Island, which I like a lot. And I do think that they had such potential, but then fell off the face of the earth, literally and figuratively. So last one is Harry Potter. This one was my own. Harry Potter. I mentioned this one time. I was talking to my girlfriend. I said I thought this would be really interesting. Harry Potter. I know I said Game of Thrones style. Yeah. I don't mean like actually make it like Game of Thrones. But what I mean is like make an HBO TV series of it where it's 10 episodes per season. Each season is a new book. So we're talking Harry Potter Philosopher's Stone. That's going to be 10 episodes.
Okay.
So you start with episode 1. Episode 1 would end with Hagrid telling him you're a wizard, you know? Yeah. And then like episode 2 would end with like him being sorted into Gryffindor, right? Episode 3 would end with like it would take more time with everything, right? And you have lots more time to like get into the character and get into that. And then episode 10 ends with when Harry died in the end of the first book. So that's how that show will go.
Okay.
Continuing on, let's go to yours.
Cool. So one I got was The Vampire's Assistant. So it was called Cirque du Freak. The Vampire's Assistant with John C. Reilly. Actually has a pretty cool cast. John C. Reilly, Salma Hayek. Who's the guy that plays Peeta Malark in Hunger Games? And Willem Dafoe is in it. This is a pretty cool cast. I've never actually seen it, but it's an adaptation of a book. So they only made the first movie and they didn't make the rest. But anyway,
Weird.
The suggestion was...
I've never even heard of this.
Yeah, look it up. It looks...
When did it come out?
2009, I think.
The Vampire's Assistant.
Yeah, so I think it's the full title is Cirque du Freak, The Vampire's Assistant.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
Sure. So anyway, comment was make someone else the main vampire. So that's originally played by John C. Reilly, other than the guy who's from Step Brothers, and give it a more creepy vibe. Plot would be the same since it's adapted from the book. So I guess maybe sometimes when you adapt from a book, you have to cater more towards what you think would be more suitable for big screen or what you think the demographic would like to watch as opposed to reading. But maybe he means keep it more in line with the book.
Right.
Yeah. So
they don't need necessarily a big AAA actor. They just need someone who's good enough to kind of make a role.
Well, I mean, he said give it a more creepy vibe. So I guess something like John C. Reilly, I can only imagine would give it a more like comedic kind of spin off the main character.
If you're going AAA actor, you want like Gyllenhaal in there. But if you want Gyllenhaal, but if you wanted it to be a TV show. Wait, sorry, it's a movie. It's a movie series. I'm sorry. So stick with AAA actors, and I think Gyllenhaal. Put Gyllenhaal in there as a vampire.
Okay. The vampire, so creepy.
Is a vampire. Or give what's his face another shot, even though I don't like him very much. The guy who plays Joker now in Suicide Squad.
Jared Leto.
Yeah, Jared. Oh, I guess he doesn't anymore because what's his face is playing him now.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix, but no, Jared Leto. Give him another shot, I guess. Throw him in there. Make him a vampire, I guess.
Was Val Kilmer ever a vampire in any movie?
Why does that sound familiar?
Val
That
Kilmer, he
actually
wrote the
does sound
Batman movies.
familiar.
Oh, was he in Interview with the Vampire? Is that the one?
That might be. Tom Cruise is in that.
Okay, well, if Val Kilmer was never a vampire, then he should be the vampire in this one.
That's weird because that sounds familiar to me. Maybe that's the Mandela effect, but that sounds familiar to me.
It could be.
Interesting. Anyways,
Then the other one is to revamp all of DC.
redo. Well, I think that's just a given. That's just a given. I mean,
Yeah,
so we already talked about Suicide Squad 2 last week, and you just did that already out of the blue. Yeah.
Reasoning, or I guess how this would go. All of the recent ones, so like all of the Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, like all those movies that we've seen in the past. I don't know what.
Wait, redo Wonder Woman?
Yeah, so revamp all of those, except with Christopher Nolan, and using Christian Bale as the Batman for all those. And if not,
So go back in time.
and if not Nolan, then at least in the same universe that Nolan created with the Christian Bale Batman movies.
You know, and I think that's kind of what they were trying to do when they first started with Man of Steel.
You think so?
I think part of them was like, well, Christopher Nolan produced Man of Steel. I think part of them was like, we really hope we can have this in the same sort of universe.
Okay.
And then they were like, maybe if this movie like does incredibly well, we could throw Christian Bale into this. Like maybe we can convince him to come back or something, right?
Yeah.
I think they were still toying with the idea that maybe this could happen. And then Man of Steel was so different in tone.
Yeah.
That they were like, I guess this is our new tone. So then they just went for like that, what was his name?
Jack Snyder. No, Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder. Thank you. You did that last time.
I did it.
Oh, you've done that twice now to me.
did
Thank
it.
you.
Oh.
Okay, sorry. Anyways,
Never even have to go.
Christian Nolan.
Crayola. Oh, okay.
He produced Man of Steel
Yeah.
with Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder directed Man of Steel, and I just think that they were kind of like, well, Zack Snyder, can you just kind of make it like Christopher Nolan's movie? And then he didn't. Made his own style. So then they kind of went with that. But anyways, I do think that that's what they were trying to do, and then they fell off the face of the earth. But I agree. I think that's the... I mean, I love The Dark Knight, and I like The Dark Knight Rises.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Batman Begins at all, though. I everyone seems to like that one. I don't know why.
I don't think I like that as much. I
Yeah.
definitely liked Dark Knight the most out of those three.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It works as a movie like on its own. It doesn't
Actually,
need,
that's true. Yeah, it doesn't even have the prequel or sequel. It's just great.
It doesn't need any superhero stuff in it either. It's like if you just take it as a movie, it's
Yeah.
just a movie. It's no different than Die Hard. It's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, it's just a great movie, and it did a lot for film as well as just superhero characters in general.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the best villains in a superhero movie we've seen come to screen. So I mean, obviously remake the movies and just do it in that universe. That's style, at least.
Yeah.
And then not one of the DC films has even come close to that
No.
caliber.
There was something that was so raw and gritty about the Christian Bale movies.
Definitely.
I don't know.
Like you watch, I love Infinity War, but it's not like it's anywhere near the style of Dark Knight.
Oh, definitely not.
But it doesn't make it worse or better. It's just that they're totally different style of movies.
and it
like,
just works for that movie like that.
there's no way Joker would work in Infinity War, right?
Yeah.
Like,
No. I think also just the way that we've seen it now, like it's hard for us to accept any other style of like Batman and Joker movie because it was just done so well.
yeah, I agree.
It's almost like, well, I don't know if they
You have to wait till we die off, and they'll have to make a new one.
It's kind of like the Kleenex effect. You know, we ask for a Kleenex because that's what we want, but we're actually asking for tissue.
Right. So when we ask for the Joker, we're just asking for that.
Yeah.
It's such a shame too.
Yeah.
You know?
So my input for this would be, actually, I thought just for fun, revamp all of the original Batman movies. You know, where there was like George Clooney and Val Kilmer and Michael Keaton, like revamp all of them, but have I don't know, like Johnny Depp be George Clooney as Batman, and then Johnny Depp be Val Kilmer as Batman. So anyway, so
redo every Batman film, but Johnny Depp plays them all.
but he doesn't play Batman. He plays
The actor playing Batman.
Yeah. Anyways, that's a joke. I actually think that'd be really fun to watch.
I honestly think I'd watch that.
I'm sure you would.
Yeah.
We would watch it together.
I think so.
I'd make it happen.
Yeah, it'd be long though.
That would be our next like quadruple date.
It'd be like 20 hours.
Quadruple person.
Quadruple. You're
date.
really into these fort dates, eh?
That will be. I prefer the fourth date over the fortnight.
Oh, okay.
So I would like to see Ninja Turtles redone in the original Ninja Turtle comics, where I think like they didn't have definitive colors to signify who was what character. They all kind of wore the same one, but they were. It was a much darker Ninja Turtles where they actually went like killing.
Oh.
They killed like bad guys, or maybe they killed the Foot. I'm not really sure how that.
Yeah,
all
they were
went
in the
down.
Daredevil universe, weren't they?
Daredevil.
Yeah,
Really?
the Mutant Ninja Turtles. They were like created as a spin-off of like Daredevil. It was like the goo from Daredevil that made him blind fell down a sewer and then went and hit the turtles, which then made them radioactive and turned into people.
Right, I think you mentioned that before to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, well, that's kind of cool.
So when they're fighting
Marvel's
the
Ninja
fist, or when they're fighting the foot,
Yeah.
the foot is truly from the fist, from Daredevil. So
Wait,
you
the
go.
hand.
The hand, sure, whatever. The fist, the hand, the whole thing. The foot, the fist, the hand.
The elbow.
The tip of the mouth, the teeth, the foot.
The lip of the tips.
The lip of the tip is the foot, the mouth.
But yeah, I think it would be kind of cool to see a revamped Ninja Turtles movie where they're all, like that kind of like dark and sinister. They're not so much like, what's the word?
Dark and sinister?
Well, no, they would be less of what we see in the cartoons where they're like bubbly and happy or happy-go-lucky and like really friendly and stuff like that.
Right.
Like this one is, they're just like, there's bad out there and they just gotta get rid of it, and the only way they know how to do it is to kill them off.
I don't know how I feel about that. I thought people really liked the really happy-go-lucky turtles from like the 90s.
Well, I do, but I mean, like, I don't need to see a revisited happy version because I've already seen one. I would just be interested to see how they could do with this like hardcore
Right.
killer version of Ninja Turtles.
You want to see alt turtle.
I want to alt turtle,
Alt turtle.
like ulterior
Alternative turtle.
Oh, okay. I sort of want to like what I'm picturing is Sin City, where it's like black and white and kind of like that still comic-y effect
Okay.
as you're watching each scene, but it's the turtles that come in, so like the shading is a little bit different, and you just see like the silhouettes of the turtles as they're fighting their crime or whatever, and maybe there's like hints of color in their bands just so you know who's who, like their headbands and their knuckle bands and knee bands and whatever they're called.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
I think I'd have to see it to know.
I think we'd all have to see
It
it
is.
to know.
It's a little strange sounding,
That's cool.
but it could be good. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's so far-fetched. It could be good.
Yeah.
Who knows? But if in a few years to come there are some Dark Turtles in a new Turtle reboot, man,
Cool.
look who had the $1 million idea. It was you,
It was Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan. So is that our answer of the day? That's all the answers?
Yeah.
Thank you for your answers, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for those answers. Topic 1, Anth0z, I believe you are going to handle the first topic.
All right.
Why don't you give us the topic on the topic?
I will handle it.
Handle it.
Okay, so how can I put this?
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
I'll just
Oh,
I'll
God.
just read off the notes that I wrote
So nervous.
because it's probably so this might be more of a all right.
Go ahead.
I guess it is a question, not so much an observation. Should loyal customers of video games be able to own remastered versions for free? Example, you paid for The Legend of Zelda as a kid, and you've been paying for tons of other NES games and consoles in the meantime, consistently as they've been released, and now you want to have the remastered version available, or like the latest version that's available for Switch or the Wii U, even though it's still like that same original game that you played, just looks nicer and more cleaned out and brighter. Yeah, I don't know. What's your take on that?
No.
Okay, no, that's fine.
I personally think no.
Okay.
I think if you enjoyed that game for all that it was worth,
Yeah.
then you've already this is like just free. This is just a basic statement on trade in general. But
Okay.
I think they paid for that good. They
Yeah.
got the good. They enjoyed the good, and it was good.
Yeah.
And then later on, the company went, hey, we can market this in another way, mold it better so that people see it in a new light,
Yeah.
and then sell it again.
Yeah.
And then you as that user can go, do I enjoy the thing I already bought the way I already apparently enjoy it? Do I enjoy it enough that I can just leave it? Or do I want to see what this company did in an even better way and pay for that again?
Mm-hmm.
And that's your choice, not theirs, right? So
Yeah.
I personally think no. There's no right there that the consumer has over the creator, or what's that called? The distributor?
Distributor.
So, for example, for Rockstar made Grand Theft Auto 5, and it came out on PS3. Now, this was the year PS3 was done and PS4 was coming in,
Yeah.
and it released. And you could tell, if you had any keen sense on video games at that time, that they were going to port this over to PS4 eventually,
Okay.
even though when people asked them, they would have no comment on it.
Yeah.
Did that stop the sales of Grand Theft Auto 5 on PS3? No. Did people demand that they had some kind of discount or maybe a free version of an upgrade to the PS4 version? Yes, people did demand that.
Yeah.
Is that right? That's up to you, but I say no. I say you personally made the choice to buy it for that console, so you bought it then. If you decide to say that you got screwed over, or you perceive it that you got screwed over in some way, that you bought it then without knowing they were going to make a new console one, that's your own thing. But this is how trade works in general. So I mean, you played this game, it may, and it comes down to how much more is it? How much better is it going to be when you get it on the next console? Like, are you actually going to stop playing it on the PS3 one because your friends are now on PS4? Maybe that's a good argument. But you could probably still sell that game and buy it for the next value it is. And we're at a point now where games are already at such a good price. We like to complain about the price of games right now, but they're at a very decent price of what they are.
For what they are.
For the entertainment we get out of them. The only thing I might complain about is that we don't have demos of the games as much as I would like. Okay. So sometimes it's a little bit hard to know something about a game. But we now live in a world also where there's a lot of media available for it. So for almost all games, you can search up some gameplay videos, trailers, and reviews even, and see how other people are thinking about these games and get a really good idea of if you should buy it or not. So I think when people are complaining about games, they're just not taking enough time to really look into, is this the right game I want to buy?
Right.
And you look at a movie. I just went to go see Venom the other day. Yeah. And if you go see a movie in the theater, it costs like $30 to get your drink and to get some food and then get your ticket, right? And you could probably get it all the way down to $10 if you just got your ticket. Yeah. But to get the experience of a movie, it's about $30. To buy a game, it's double and a half, right? So it's 2.5. Yeah. And so I got Spiderman on PS4, and that game is 2.5 times more than it was to go see Venom. And which one did I get?
So it's approximately $80 right now to get a.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's $80 to get $80 to get Spider-Man. So, so how much more entertainment did I get out of Spider-Man, the video game on PS4, compared to the Venom movie in theaters? Like, it's
like hours upon hours.
Yeah, it's so crazy the difference there, right?
Yeah.
If it's a game I didn't like, I could understand the argument because maybe I put 2 hours into it versus the 3-hour-long Venom movie or whatever it was. But that choice would have been mitigated if I had seen the reviews, checked out a video or so on it, and looked at it, and then put that into the price of the game before I bought it. So I think people complain too much about prices of games. I think when there's remastered versions of games, there's absolutely no right of the consumer to demand a free copy of the game. If they support a company enough, they should be able to support buying the game again. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
No, I agree, because either way, like if they're gonna put in the work to remaster something, even if it's little, like they're still going about actually putting in that work and then getting it on this new platform. So I'm sure there are tons of tweaks that they really have to do to make it work. And then
sometimes and sometimes not. Sometimes they can literally like flick it, like the Grand Theft Auto. Well, no, that's a bad example. No, but there are some games, that they can just like flick a switch and it's pretty much on the next console.
Yeah.
But
part of why I thought about this was because I think it's with the Nintendo Switch membership, you can actually pay you pay for that membership, and part of that perk is that you get to, can you download some retro games, or you get this like virtual console that you can play.
Is it the same library that's been built up since Wii? Like the virtual console library?
I believe so, yeah. Okay. I just read the other day, or I just read recently about they're going to be releasing a bunch of old school NES games, and I don't know if that means it's
there was Final Fantasy in there, wasn't there? They had a bunch of Final Fantasy titles coming to Switch.
I think Legend of Zelda is one, and Super Mario Bros. 3 is one of them. I can't remember all the titles,
it's a good one.
There must be like 20 or 30 titles that they said will be released soon as part of this membership. I don't really know if that means that they just automatically get to own it again for free by having this paid membership. But anyway, the membership and other kind of discounts that they have, once in a while they'll put a discount and say like, hey, if you want to buy this Legend of Zelda game, we have a remastered version now for like $5 or whatever. So which is, it's nice and cheap, it's kind of cool. And then I was just thinking, well, what kind of opportunities could there be for other loyal customers who might feel like, I guess what you're saying, like they're not in the right to demand kind of free stuff, but what other opportunities could there be to help the consumers who have been spending a lot of money up until this point? Like say they've been spending money since NES, since like, what is that, 85, 84? Some 1980
NES,
something.
I think, is later than that, but yeah, because I think the Super NES was around 90s, wasn't it?
Oh, okay.
There's only like 3 or 4 year difference between the two, so 86.
Okay. Sure. So in the meantime, like
I could be wrong.
Obviously, your parents are probably paying for those games, but then you took on the onus yourself and started paying for games for yourself, and you really stuck with whether it was NES or Sony or whoever was like, at the time. And then, you get to the point where you've got this whole collection of games if you haven't already gotten rid of it. And I thought, well, what would be kind of cool? What's a cool way that these big game companies could help the consumers?
Incentivize the consumers to get like the newer versions of them?
Yeah, and I was thinking, well, what if, you've got this old copy, you've got this plastic cartridge copy of like Legend of Zelda, and you traded it back in directly to Nintendo. Say like, instead of trading it into EB Games and getting credit towards like other trade and play games.
Which is GameStop in the States.
Oh yeah, that's right, GameStop. So that you would trade it into Nintendo, and then maybe as some sort of like green initiative, they would take your plastic, like the plastic from your cartridge, and they would like recycle it in whatever way and put it towards something else. And as a reward, then you get this like new digital remastered version of your game, like on whatever console you own. Well, just as like a fun way for
kind of like springboarding off of that, which is very similar in the same topic. It's kind of where I think we're getting to is there is a service now that Xbox One, I think it's not very new actually, it's been around for a little while, the Xbox One is providing its customers where you're paying for a service where it gives you these games over time and you're getting those service. PlayStation has a similar thing with PlayStation Plus where you kind of get these free games over time, you're building a library. Yeah. But EA has now come out with this service as well. And I think this is kind of where games are going maybe. Yeah. It's more the Netflix model. You're paying a certain monthly plan and then you now have access to all of the EA games available.
Right.
I could be wrong. Like I'm sure there's like an asterisk there where there's like certain ones not. Yeah. But it's a gigantic library of games from EA that are available to you, all as a giant compilation if you just pay monthly for them. Right. And I think this is more where things will go instead of what you're talking about, which I do commend because I think that's where games used to be when there was the kind of a used game kind of idea.
Yeah, that kind of market.
Yeah. I think we're now just going digital and the idea of collecting everything and just paying a monthly service because I think there's more money in it for the developers and maybe for the corporations. Maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know the actual finance behind it, but I would assume that there's more money there since that seems to be where the trend is moving.
Yeah. But it's kind of like Adobe and Microsoft, right? Because
exactly.
Just like have the products on.
Why pay $250 for Premiere Pro when they started coming out with the service of $9.99 a month or whatever it was, and then you get Premiere Pro in there, right? Yeah. And so suddenly you're now a customer that's lasting a lot longer. Yeah. That $250 that you wouldn't have spent earlier, you're now going to spend over 2 years or so. Yeah. Depending on the suite you got. But yeah, I think that's very common. I think it makes them a lot more money. They get more customers and long-term customers that way. Mm-hmm. But so EA has that, and they released their new games, and you get them actually early now. So a new game comes out and you get it early because you have the service other than other people, which now has this weird brand loyalty and like customer loyalty that's kind of there. That's where they're trying to get to a bit more. I think it's what we'll see now with like Nintendo. I think Nintendo will do something very similar with some kind of Game Pass or something where you get.
I'm sure they will. Yeah, like although right now I'm only kind of familiar with the PS Plus, and from what I remember, when you have this membership, each month you have there's like a rotation of games that
2 free games on PS4, 2 free games on Vita, and 2 free games on PS3. Although the Vita ones are stopping soon, I believe.
Okay, and as long as you for that month, right? You don't collect it.
You do collect it as long as you download that title. You have it forever. I have the same titles I had from like 2011 or 2012 when I first started it. And they stay on there forever as long as you have PlayStation Plus. If you stop paying for PlayStation Plus, you stop having access to those games. But as soon as you buy PlayStation Plus again, you get that access again. So.
That's interesting.
And then PS4 introduced the idea of needing PlayStation Plus to play online, which was not the case with PS3, but you now have to do that with PlayStation 4.
I think, I hated that fact.
That's very different for the Sony model, right? Yeah. It was never pay to play. Now it is pay to play.
Yeah, I think what I hated about that was because I think we wanted to play Rocket League. And I think we had the PS version and we couldn't play together. But then I downloaded the PC version and played with some other people. Yep. And I just hated the fact that I couldn't play with my friends on PS4 unless I paid extra. Whereas for PC, like is it Steam?
Yeah,
Rocket League Steam.
Steam,
And I was always able to play with the friends that I had who had Rocket League on Steam for free. I didn't have to pay extra.
Right. It's almost just another wall you have to jump through. We're already paying for internet, so it's just another wall you have to go through to be able to play. Yeah. But at the same time, they are providing their PlayStation service, which helps you with security because you are buying your games with your own credit cards and all that. Mm. There's also the PlayStation Friends, PlayStation Community, and any other PlayStation Online services that are available. That's all kind of built into the price. On top of that, they are also now giving you the free games every month. So they're not necessarily free if you're building it into the price.
I see, yeah.
If you think about it in those terms, then it makes a bit more sense. And then it has been kind of a Game Pass they've been doing for a long time. Mm-hmm. But it's a weird model that used to make a lot of sense. Used to be great, actually. I think for $50, It used to be $50 a year, and I think $50 a year, and you got two free games every month, and you got the ability to play online. If you take that on its own, as it was, minus what the PS3 used to be, if you just take that on its own as a deal, that was a good deal back in 2013, I want to say, when PS4 came out.
Okay.
But nowadays, when Xbox when Xbox One has their new pass deal with the games, and EA's got their pass with the games, I think Sony's fallen behind real quick on their online services. And suddenly, it's not even $50 anymore. It's not like $70, I want to say, here in Canada at least. I think it's about $70 a month now for PlayStation Plus.
Wow.
Might be $60, but I think it's closer to $70. And I just think it's falling behind. I don't think that their service is really providing all that much. And the PlayStation Plus titles have not been all that great. So there's been a few good ones. I think... oh god, I can't remember the title right now, but it's a killer game where you play some serial killer, and you have like four other characters you have to go kill.
Killer Instinct.
It's not, but no. But that came out recently, and then Friday the 13th came out this month, which is also very similar. You play as Jason and kill a bunch of other players online. They're both pretty fun. I think that they were actually really good PlayStation Plus titles to play with friends. But there's not too many to write home about, so.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's not really an answer to your question, but that's more my thoughts on it. That's where I think the game industry is going. And I don't think the consumer is really entitled to much. And if we do like it, we pay more for it. And I think that's how you know the true value of things over time.
Yeah.
I like that. I think it makes sense.
Yeah, like if you see value in something, or if that value matches what you believe to be its value, then you would pay for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Yeah.
I say it a lot, but we need to put our money where our mouth is. If we ever want something, we like it, we want other people to buy it, you have to buy it.
Yeah.
If you don't buy it, no one will ever know that product is worth it. So, yeah. If you see a remaster and you think it's very good, that they put all their heart and soul into that remaster and it was very well done, buy it. Yeah. And if you have the money, obviously. If you don't, then you've got bigger things to worry about, obviously. So, but yeah, I mean that's all I really need to say on that, I guess.
Yeah.
The next part is the game spinner. Let's move on to the game spinner, or as you like to call it,
the
Scum.
What?
What?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
Okay, then you go.
You start.
The
wheel.
Sorry, you are right. The
wheel
of
scum.
I'm sorry I did that. I was reading it, I think, so... anyways.
The scum of wheel.
Wheel of scum. So the options that we've got on the wheel of scum. Hey, guys. Welcome. My name's Chad, and I'm going to show you the wheel of scum.
Gnarly.
Bros, you ready for the wheel of scum?
Yeah.
First, we got Pirate Avenger. Oh, sounds like YTV or something.
Pirate Avenger? Is that a new one?
No, Pirate Avenger has always been on there.
Oh, I thought it said Pirate Avenger.
Pirate Avengers.
Wow.
It's going to be the new Avengers movie.
Oh, that's
so actually the title of the next Avengers
Captain
film.
America with a peg leg.
Actually, I believe it's Apocalypse. Avengers Apocalypse? No.
What?
Annihilation. Avengers Annihilation, I think.
Is that the next one?
I believe it's the leaked title name. Bro. Cool, man. Leaked title, Frozone. So, number one on the Scumm Bar spinner could be Pirate Adventure. We could also have Shakespeare in a Bar. We could also have Parlay OK. We could also have A Haunting Tale of Woe. We could also have Impress the Governor's Daughter. And last but not least, Swashbuckler. I like the sound effect. We added a new rule last week that we didn't tell you guys about, and that rule is we can't have the same thing happen twice in a week. So actually, we're going to exclude
twice in a week.
Twice in 2 weeks. Sorry.
Yeah.
It can't happen consecutively. How do you say that?
We can't repeat the same game from the previous week.
That's the best way to say it. And we cannot do Parlay OK. If we get Parlay OK, we're going to spin again. Anth0z, will you do the honors and please spin?
Spin.
Spin, 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 spin. Spin, 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 spin. Suck, 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 suck.
You know what? Actually, that's from our last topic. One of the movies that we could watch over and over again. I think Spaceballs was one.
Spaceballs would work. We are landing on. Oh my God! Is this Swashbuckler? We've never done it. It's Impress the Governor's Daughter. Oh, so close. We almost had Swashbuckler, but nope. We shall save it for another time.
I'm actually not impressing the Governor's Daughter. I'm just impressing the Governor based on this wheel.
Well, it couldn't fit Governor's Daughter on there, but I swear,
big, huh?
I swear, it's not the Governor in a wig.
All right.
It's the Governor's Daughter. Well, okay. Let me grab my answer key. Right. And are you ready to play Scum Millionaire?
Yes. They see scumming.
They hating.
They give me the questions thinking I can't get them. Try to see me scum millionaire. Try to see me scum millionaire.
Scum millionaire.
Don't think that.
That sounds like Thor's hammer.
Mjolnir.
Trying to get a scam on Mjolnir.
Put that scum on Mjolnir.
Scum on Mjolnir. Scummy Mjolnir. That's Thor in the Swamp Thing. Okay, so here you go. Question number 1. Carl and the Passions changed band names to what?
What?
Is it A, Coldplay, B, The Beach Boys, C, Bee Gees, or D, Linkin Park? Again, Carl and the Passions changed their band name to what?
Oh shoot, I have. Why can't I even think? Okay, Bee Gees? Wait, is that a hint? That's not a hint, is it?
No, I'm trying to do the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire background music.
Oh.
They've got some kind of weird like chanting, no, no, something weird like that, but it's probably just a choir back there.
It's Duel the Fates from episode 1. Yeah, that's one. Kills Qui-Gon! Swampy when he gets back at him. Anyway,
Oh my god. Have you ever seen like a piano cover of that? It's crazy.
Must be insane.
Bee Gees, is that your final answer?
Yes.
Your final answer. That is correct.
Oh!
Yeah, you got it right. How'd you know?
Well, okay, because Coldplay, I'm sure I've heard, I can't remember off the top of my head, but the lead singer, I don't think his name is Carl. The Beach Boys.
It used to be called Carl Play.
Oh,
Sorry, go ahead.
oh, oh.
Oh, this guy.
The Beach Boys, I remember hearing one name, and I don't think it was Carl. I'm not sure if he was the lead singer. Linkin Park, I don't think any of them are Carl.
No.
I know there's Chester.
Chester.
There was Chester.
Chester Park.
Yeah. And so I was left with Bee Gees. Because
Yeah.
I didn't know any of their names.
Wait, I'm sorry, did you say Bee Gees?
Wait, was it Beach Boys?
I'm so sorry, it was Beach Boys. I got that mixed up.
oh,
I
jeez.
got your hopes up.
Wait,
I
did
don't want to...
Maybe I said Beach Boys, but meant to say
Oh, I'd
Bee
have to rewind the tape, but I'm so sorry. It was Beach Boys. I misheard you, I
Okay.
think. It was Beach Boys. I think you did say Bee Gees.
I narrowed it down
Pretty
for
sure you
but
did,
I
yeah.
went with Bee Gees, but
No,
okay.
it's Everybody's Gone Surfing. Surfing USA. With Carl and the Passions.
Oh.
Everybody's Gone Surfing.
Carl and the Passions.
Carl and the Passions. Okay, number 5. Sorry, I think you were wrong, by the way. I don't think you got that. Number 5. Which car company makes the Supra? Is this A, Mitsubishi? Is this B, Chevrolet? Is this C?
Chevrolet.
Is this C, Toyota? Or is this C, Hyundai?
Can I just comment on your spelling of Chevrolet and Hyundai?
Number 5. Which car company makes
Okay,
the
well-
Supra? Did I spell them wrong on here?
Yeah,
okay.
Chevrolet is Chevrolet.
Oh, okay.
And then Hyundai, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but there's
Hyundai?
a Y after the H.
Oh, is there? Okay. Wait, there's a Y after the H?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right, there is. Interesting.
That's what I was
Hyundai?
like, well, that must be the wrong answer because they're wrong.
Well,
Toyota, C.
it is Toyota.
Yeah.
You are correct, sir.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I just saw the car companies online. Just wrote them as I was looking at them briefly. Now that I look at Mitsubishi, is that correct? Is that how I wrote that?
Yeah, that's right.
Mitsubishi?
Yeah.
Interesting. So what was our Chevrolet? It's supposed to be Chevrolet?
Chevrolet.
And then Hyundai is a Y after the H.
Shun.
So you got it right by process of elimination. You didn't know anything about cars. You just looked at the misspelling.
Yeah, but I have to.
You're a cheat.
All right.
You, sir, are a cheat. But you know who else is a cheat? A pirate. He's a pirate.
Savvy.
Savvy. Parley.
Parley.
Who directed Doctor Strangelove, 2001, A Space Odyssey, and The Shining?
Oh, those are 3 different titles. I
Yes.
get it.
Who directed Doctor Strangelove, 2001, A Space Odyssey, and The Shining? Was this A, David Fincher, B, Stanley Kubrick, C, George Lucas, or D, Danny Boyle?
What? It's not George Lucas. I have no idea who these other people are. I'm gonna go with Stanley Kubrick. be... Was that from It?
No, that's Halloween.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Has nothing to do with this at all. It's just in my head. So if you remember, we made fun of what's that movie called? Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Do you remember the movie that they went into in Ready Player One?
The Shining.
They went into The Shining.
Yeah.
Yes.
But not in the book.
Style and the theme of the show. Well, this is who directed. Oh, I'm sorry. In the book of Ready Player One, yes. Anyways, okay. So if you rewatch Ready Player One, you'll notice that they say Stanley Kubrick is the director of The Shining.
Ooh.
Stanley Kubrick was kind of crazy. I heard a story. Who knows if it's true or not? There's a story that he was driving his car down a highway trying to find the perfect shot for one of his movies.
Yeah.
And he saw a canyon over on the side of him from the highway. I guess he was in like a desert. He saw a canyon over to the side, and he thought the canyon was so perfect that he literally swerved his car. His car rolled. He got out of the car and immediately went over to the canyon and took a photo with his camera because it was such a perfect shot. He just had to get that shot.
What?
Yeah, so everyone was like, "Are you okay?" And he was just like, "I found the perfect shot."
Wow.
Yeah, that's it.
That's commitment.
It's a rumor, but I think it's true. Just search up Stanley Kubrick. He's a crazy guy. Also,
Stanley
he faked the
Kubrick.
moon landing apparently. So
Stanley Kubrick faked it?
he faked the moon landing. He's the one who filmed it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
They say 2001: A Space Odyssey was so accurate that he was the only director available to fake the moon landing. Just ask the flat earthers and they'll tell you.
Cool. You know what? I still have quarrels about Ready Player One.
Me
Just 'cause we
too.
brought it up.
I think it's just kind of like in there nagging at me all the time.
But I just feel like I was robbed of that quest where they had to be in the movie, because if they actually did Monty Python's, it was the Holy Grail, right? Like, if they actually did that scene.
Yeah, it's supposed to do Holy Grail. If you had the coconuts.
Yeah. Like.
Or
what
War
did they-
Games. It's supposed to be Matthew Broderick. War Games.
Was it?
Yeah. Well, that was one of them. There was two movies in there in the book. I think there might have been more. But those are the two that I mentioned.
Okay.
Those are the two that they go thoroughly through. The first one he ever does is War Games, and he plays Matthew Broderick.
Yeah.
And the second time he does it is when he's going for the last door. I think he's going to the last gate, and he has to kind of go through all three games. And the world is watching him do the Monty Python one. They're all laughing as he's like doing the
yeah.
different scenes and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So
He's
he's got the coconuts. Yeah. The book is incredible. Honestly, go through the. Well, no, you went to the podcast, didn't you? Or sorry, the audiobook, I mean.
No,
with
no.
Will Wheaton.
No, that was with Armada. That was not the sequel, but it was also written by Ernest Cline.
Oh, I
so
see.
he wrote both
I see.
Ready Player One and Armada. I think Will Wheaton probably voiced in like the audiobook for Ready Player One as well. I'm sure he did.
Well, that's the one I listened to. Is
Okay,
Will Wheaton, Ready Player One. He does a good job. I honestly think that if you like the movie at all and you haven't read the book and you want more, then
If you like
definitely
paper.
go. If you like paper, no. If you like books and audios, then I think you should listen to the Will Wheaton audiobook of Ready Player One. I thought it was very good.
Yeah.
I'm not even a big fan of Will Wheaton, but I thought that was good. So yeah.
He's a cool guy.
Anyways, we need to have like a separate podcast on this, but we should make like a separate podcast called like the podcast review or something, where we just like review a movie. Because I think Ready Player One, I feel like I've got like 4 major topics I think I could bring up about Ready Player One that are like very different and distinct of reasons why I think the movie wasn't very good.
Okay.
But I don't think it's a terrible movie. It's nowhere near what I was expecting. And as the years go on, or months I should say right now, I'm looking at it worse and worse over time. While the book still remains the same. It is decaying, yes. Okay, well, moving on to the next topic.
Okay.
Anth0z, I want you to tell me a story.
Mattbrush.
I want you to tell me a story about your favorite horror movie watching experience. So think of any horror movie and think about like it could be when you were a kid or with friends or in a theater or out in a boot. But what was your favorite horror movie watching experience? If you need time, I can tell you one of mine, or mine at least, and if you go me first. But if I thought maybe you'd have one.
I can think of one from high school. I guess I don't really have a lot of horror movie experiences growing up because I didn't really watch a lot. Or I think maybe I did, I just didn't really pay attention. Or a lot of movies blended into me as horror movies because I was just naturally scared of everything as a kid. Like
what?
For one was watching Predator.
Okay.
Was it Predator? I think.
Well, I saw Alien as a horror movie when I was a kid, so
Okay.
I think it makes sense.
Still watching Predator at my one of my good friends' place, and he and his brother, they have these like really ugly, scary kind of like troll masks. And in the middle of watching the movie, and they already knew I was scared of this mask because like they would just like run out of this dark hallway coming towards me wearing that mask, and I would like scream and I would flip out. So they did that to me while I was watching Predator, like the first Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That does not at all sound like what he's like. Anyway.
I like it though. I want to hear more of that Arnold. Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's pretty much just like, what's his face? Nixon.
Liam Neeson? Oh.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Anyway, yeah, so they would run at me wearing those masks, and I would just like, I think I wanted to leave. I wanted to like run home because I lived a block away.
Oh.
So I could do it.
Wasn't very far.
No.
It was 20 miles. And I did it, and I was running.
But as for an actual horror movie, so this is one of the only times I actually watched a movie with some friends that like, or some people from high school that I would have never actually had a hangout with. Like we just weren't that close, but for some reason we went to watch this movie together. So we watched The Ring.
Oh yeah.
And and I think so I was sitting next to a girl in my grade, and then she was like flipping out at pretty much like any scene possible, and she was like screaming and like shaking, and I don't know, yeah, she was just really scared of like every aspect of it. And so I think because like I wasn't as scared, I was like, oh, okay, well, I feel like she needs to be comforted. I will just try to comfort her. So I would like rub her leg and just like was trying to make her feel better.
You know, this is a PG-13 podcast, so we can't go farther than that, but it's interesting. Don't tell me the rest of that night.
Right.
No, sorry, go ahead.
She was wearing long sleeve pants.
Okay, well, no, you gotta stop. I thought so. This is why I was concerned about getting to your stories of your childhood, because I know you've had a really rough past. This is like West Side Story right here.
People was running at me with masks on, and forced me to watch these scary movies.
They forced me to watch a scary movie. Well, The Ring, I had a scary experience with The Ring as well, actually. I found that one really freaky. What's really dumb is The Ring, if I watch it now, it's not scary at all. But when I first saw The Ring, it was terrifying.
Yeah.
It's really weird. I think it's because now it just looks like CGI and it looks very weird. But like the moments near the beginning where you see like the woman in the closet, it was like freaky. When you see like the dead person in the closet, and it's like they've been exposed to the girl, and like they died of fear, and they have that face.
Right.
That freaked me out like so much. That freaked me out for a long time. I want to say like multiple years. That image was burned in my brain.
Do you only see like her eye or something?
I think you only see a bit of her face. Like the camera just pans down, I believe, and it's just like, it's like it shows her just kind of lying there.
Yeah.
That's what's funny though, right? It was burned in my brain for a few years, and then it was gone. And then now when I look back, and it's just nothing. But it was just, I guess it was the ripe old age. It was ready to be scared. When I was a kid, I watched It with some friends. Well, the 90s version of It with Seth Green when he was a little kid. And not that it has to be a common theme right now, but it just keeps coming up.
Yeah.
And I think it's why I like the movie so much, is because it was the first movie that terrified me. So it was a made-for-TV film. I think it's like 3 hours long, because it was 2 different nights that it released. One hour and a half one night, hour and a half the next night kind of thing. Cool. And then so what we watched was the VHS copy, which had like the Tim Curry clown on the cover kind of thing, like all scaring you. It was dumb as, again, you look back on it now, it's not scary, but I remember it freaking me out so much. Something about the clown in the sewer got me. I remember looking at sewers and being scared of sewers for a long time.
Yeah.
But what made it perfect, and I don't know if this is like common for people, but for me was I was with a bunch of just friends. They're all boys, and we're all in a basement at my friend's house. And it was the perfect dark, dingy basement where you're like terrified to go walking around because it was too dark.
Yeah.
So like you stay all together. You got all your sleeping bags. You stay all together. And you had this old TV, and we watched VHS movies on all the time. We watched scary movies. But It was the one that got us.
It was the one.
It was the one. And I just remember it was like 6 of us. I remember it was a lot of friends. So I would say 6 or 7. And we're all there, just huddled together watching this movie. And it was, some of us were scared, some of us were laughing, but there was some moments where just everyone's paying attention. Everyone's like scared watching. You know, it's just, it was good. Really After it's done, you're all rowdy and crazy because you're trying to like not be freaked out by it. You know, you're eating your chips and stuff like that, but no one's willing to go to the washroom because it's down the scary dark hall or something, right? Like, so that one definitely got me. I'll never forget that whole experience. That was like one of the better horror movie experiences. I wish I could go back to that time sometimes, just because that was being truly scared from a movie. And these days, I feel like I'm just scared I'm gonna jump, but I'm not scared of the actual horror on the screen.
Oh, you're scared of your own embarrassment.
Exactly, I'm scared of embarrassment.
What they're trying to make you feel.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. So it was nice to go back and see it again in the theaters in 2017, just because that was fun for me to kind of relive a bit of that experience.
Yeah. For those who have not seen the original It, would you recommend watching that before watching this remastered one?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I'd recommend just watching the remastered one because now that I've gone through It, the book, I realize that the old one is not even that accurate. It's not very accurate, and it's also just too old now. I think it's not that movies like hidden age where you can't watch them, but that one does not age well. And so I don't believe it's very watchable anymore. When I was a kid, for some reason, it was very watchable, but now these days, looking back on it, it's like, wow, that's bad. And now that we have like a new It that's actually very faithful to the book, you might as well just watch the new one.
Okay.
And the new one is going to have 2 parts, right? So it's part 1, part 2. So it's still going to have all of the details in it. It's just half done. So you can watch the first half now and watch the second half later.
Was that because the book was in 2 parts? Or
No,
was
the book's just really long.
Oh,
it's very long. In fact, I went to the audiobook of It, and it was almost as long as the audiobook of all 3 Lord of the Rings. So
what?
Yeah, you start with 1 story as opposed to 3 stories.
Well, how long? Yeah, how long was it?
Lord of the Rings was, I want to say 46 hours for the total of Lord of the Rings audiobook.
Okay.
And It is 41.
Wow.
Yes, it's a long time.
That's like playing a whole Zelda game.
Or like 1 session of Minecraft. But no, it's it is really long though. Yeah, it is really long. But I went through it very quickly. God, so many jokes. So many jokes here, but phrasing. But no, it's it is good.
Okay.
And the other one, real quick, another horror experience I thought was really funny. My friend and I we had to go see The Skeleton Key in theaters. Do you remember that movie? It's like Robert De Niro and
I don't think I saw it.
some other chick. I can't remember. We were fairly young. I want to say grade 7, grade 8 at the time. Maybe going into high school at that time. And we had to go see this movie in the theaters with a bunch of people, a bunch of guys, a bunch of girls. We're all hanging out. It was like going to the theaters. You're young. You're excited. And we're going. And we didn't realize we were going to go see a horror movie. We'd never seen a horror movie in the theater. So we weren't very excited to go in to go see this horror movie because, again, we're going to jump in the theater. We're going to look dumb in front of all the girls. So my friend and I are just like, oh my God, I don't want to be here at all. And when we sat down, as soon as you sat down the seats of the theater and like the movie's not playing yet, you're just kind of waiting. I remember both of us looking at each other like scared, like really freaked out. We're like, oh no, like are we actually here? Like he was like, I just want to leave. I don't want to be here at all. I just want to leave. And I was looking at him, I was like, I know what you mean. Like I don't want to see this at all. And I don't know why. We were just terrible. We were probably freaking each other out. I felt like I had so much anxiety in that moment. And out of nowhere, that's the only time in my life this has ever happened, the fire alarm went off in the theater.
Oh.
The fire alarm went off, and we all had to get out, and we all got a refund on our tickets.
Nice.
And we just went to, like, McDonald's or something after that, and then just went home. And I was like, that was amazing. Like, somehow we were literally saved by the bell. Yeah. So it just happened. I've never had that happen again. But, yeah, out of nowhere, fire alarm saved my life. And Skeleton Key, not even a scary movie. But for some reason, I was terrified of going to go see it, so...
Oh, wait, but then the fire alarm went off like in the middle of the movie.
No. Before the movie started. Before the fire alarm went off right when we were pretty much saying how much we didn't want to be there.
And you ended up watching the Skeleton Key eventually afterwards.
Yeah, I've seen it now. Yeah, but back then I hadn't seen it, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I was terrified.
Oh.
I think it came out the same year Darkness Falls came out.
That sounds so familiar.
Darkness Falls was about the Tooth Fairy. The Tooth Fairy came to kill you.
Expected that. Oh, okay.
Some kind of spirit. The famous scene in that is the boy puts the covers over his face.
Yeah.
As soon as he removes the covers, her face is like right there on the screen. It freaks everyone out. They go, ah! It's like a big jump scare.
Okay.
That was the famous scene, I think.
Cool.
That was the one that got off.
Should just look at that one scene.
You probably can. It's on. I'm sure it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Regardless, anyways, did you have any more stories about favorite horror movie watching experiences?
Probably not. Although I do want to go back to The Ring and say that I think out of all the horror movies that I've seen, The Ring is probably the one where I've actually, watching it for the first time, I actually felt my bones shivering or my body shivering.
Japanese horror, man.
And yeah, I remember the scene specifically, and it was when she's coming out of the well. So she's watching, the main character's watching the TV, and it's like flickering and it goes fuzzy, and then it focuses in on the well, and you see the hair, like the hair's coming out first.
Is it the hair?
Samara's hair kind of comes out first, and then her body comes out.
I don't remember that. Okay.
I'm pretty sure the hair comes out.
I thought it was the hand. I thought it was the hands, and then she like pulled herself up.
Well, I think she does too. Oh, and no, in The Ring 2, she does something similar that makes me kind of like shiver.
Oh, no, I never saw The Ring 2. I only saw the first one.
Okay, well, so in the first one, so she starts coming out of the well, and then So I think the camera starts zooming a little bit like very, very slowly towards the screen. So all you're left in your view is just the TV screen, and all you can see is like her coming out of the well, and then as she's walking towards the camera, or like towards you, she's like the TV screen starts going fuzzy and skipping and goes like blurry with those like white lines going, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden she'll, like the Samara, I think it's her name, she'll skip closer to you.
Right, closer, yeah.
And closer and closer.
Kind of Slender Man, but back in the day, right? Like
Yeah. And so each time I saw like that skipping and she's getting closer, like something about that and the way that it was done, just I was actually.
It's funny that we hadn't seen that before, right? None of that stuff we had seen before. That was very unique, very unique and very scary. It kind of poltergeist, I guess, with coming out of the TV, like the hand, but still, it was very freaky.
Yeah,
got me good. That movie got me real good for a while.
Yeah,
I didn't like answering phones. I didn't like looking at static. I didn't.
Tapes, like burn them all.
Didn't like looking at little Asian girls with long dark hair. Lots of stuff freaked me out after that.
You brought like white hairspray everywhere you went and sprayed everybody that black.
Yeah,
black
exactly. I didn't like horses. I didn't like freaky weird ladies that look themselves in the mirror.
You didn't like flies.
Didn't like flies.
You didn't like looking at your toes.
Didn't like whales anymore. I stopped playing in the bottom of a well.
Yeah. In The Ring 2, the scene where again she's coming out of the well, but they actually show her like the camera's like in the well and it's coming up with. It's basically like a POV, as if you're just like right next to her, like coming up the well.
Weird.
And you can see like how she's getting out of the well. Like her limbs are all kind of like deformed, and she's like, she'll use her fingers sometimes, or else she'll like curl her hand, or she'll use like the back of her wrist to crawl out. And just like the way she moved.
It reminds me of The Grudge. Reminds me of The Grudge, where she just moves, she contorts in weird ways.
Oh yeah, and that one she kind of like skips and twitches and stuff like that, right?
I remember watching The Grudge, and I don't even remember what I saw. There was something so visually striking that I remember I was so offended by it. And I was like in grade 8 or 9, maybe. Again, I wasn't that old.
Like, I will not stand for this.
Kind of. I remember going to my friend, like, almost during the scene, maybe just after, and was like, can they show that in movies?
Wow. Okay.
I remember I was kind of mad. Like, I was like, because it was so horrific. And
the person without the job?
I think so.
Okay.
Okay. I'll explain the scene, I guess, because about all my memory's kind of faded on this whole thing. But I do remember getting so mad about this. But it was like offended, angry, mad, scared, all kind of mixed into one, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's a hospital scene, and the scene is looking at, I think, 2 figures over by some stairs.
Yeah.
And one of them is maybe missing a jaw. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it was just like gore, just full gore.
Oh, it was so gross.
And I think the camera stays on it for a while.
Yeah.
And I was just shocked. I remember at that moment I was like, "No way!" I was like, "They can't do that. They can't show that." Like I thought it was so gross. I was like, "You can't show that," and it scared me. It made me jump, but it was also just horrific. I was like, "No, this is like before Hostel, before Saw for me." So like for me, I guess that was really important. I don't know. I just thought that was weird. You know, actually, now that I think about it, I watched Saw. I watched Saw in grade 7. So this actually must have been this. I did. I see Saw all the time. I see Saw and it. No, so in grade 7 I watched Saw, so I believe I saw this, oh god, in like grade 6. So I don't know, I think I have my years a little bit mixed up here, but I just remember watching The Grudge and I was horrified by that one shot. The rest of the movie I was fine with, watching the boy who meowed and like the contorting girl that was freaky, but missing the jaw, I guess that's all it was. But for some reason, that one scene really bothered me just because of how gory it was. And I was like, that's unnecessary. Like, you didn't need to show me that.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most memorable scenes for me, too. Just seeing a person standing there without a jaw was just...
Yeah.
Yeah, it was gross. And maybe, like, the hands coming... So she was, like, washing her hair. I think this is from The Grudge, unless it was from The Ring. Or some other movie.
It's probably The Grudge.
There's a girl that's showering, and there's the camera is above, kind of behind her head. So you can see, like, her hair. And then as she's... Bless you.
Thank you.
And as she's washing her hair, all of a sudden you see these like bluish, cold, dead fingers coming out of her head.
That's The Grudge.
That's The Grudge, okay.
Is this another one where she's like driving and then like by her legs? where she's driving. She like puts her foot on the pedal, and like the head comes from under like the seat. It's
Oh,
like,
I think you're right. Unless that's from like Scary Movie or something.
No, I think that's Grudge, and it's like there's a lot of weird moments in the Grudge. There's like the closet door where like her head comes out, it's like they're coming down on her. That was freaky, but like I don't know, Japanese horror is scary. I think we talked about this before. We need a full podcast on Japanese horror because it is scary.
Yeah.
But they got me with some of that stuff. I just think it's funny reminiscing on your childhood memories and what was scary.
Yeah.
But
That was just last week. But yeah, that was a while back. That's fine. It's over.
Maringu. I guess we'll end on that too. There's the Grudge and the Ring Japanese versions.
And
yeah.
Ringu.
Is Juon on?
No, just Juon.
Is it just? Oh, you're right. It's
Ju was on.
You're right. It's Ju hyphen on or something, or Ju dash on or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the Grudge. No, the Ring. Ringu. Yes, I haven't seen either of them. Have you seen them? Have you seen some of them?
Oh, you know what? I think I did watch Juon, and I didn't think it was as bad as everybody made it out to be. I think it's because it was a little bit older. So for me, it didn't affect me as much as watching The Grudge.
I think they made a third Ring, didn't they? Rings? Didn't that come out just like 2 years ago? Or a year ago? Rings?
Oh, you know what? I think you're right.
I
Yeah.
don't think it did very well, though.
Yeah.
Well, Ring's kind of dated now, though. The Ring, like, it's all about, like, watching a VHS tape. That, like, if you watch it, you're going to get a phone call. And then within 7 days, you're going to die. None of that translates to today. You
Did
know?
they not
It was
update
like,
it? Like, you will...
I don't know, maybe Rings...
If you watch this YouTube video,
yeah.
you will get a text.
Actually, you know what? Funny enough, I think actually Rings does handle dark web and seeing a video online. And if you see the video, it's probably now a text. You will die in 7 days or something. It's probably what it is now.
Yeah, and it's got like an instant respond thing. Like, press 1 if you accept this text message. Press 2.
Press 2 to stop the spam. Data charges will apply. Oh, that's the scariest part.
Rings brought to you by your internet service provider.
Okay, well, that's it for me. Are you good with that?
What if I want to keep going?
No, you're done.
Okay.
Yeah, you're probably done. I cut you off anyway. So, wait, am I on the right one? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm on the right one. Question of the day. I wanted to say, since next week is going to be our Halloween-themed podcast week, why don't we make our question based around Halloween? Which is kind of perfect as a segue from The Grudge and The Ring.
Okay, cool.
What do you want to ask the audience about Halloween?
Halloween. What's the coolest?
This is Halloween.
I'm going to do that a lot next week,
Okay, that's fine.
just to warn you.
I better remind you.
Halloween.
Oh, I'll remember.
Okay.
Halloween.
What do you think about this? What is the coolest jack-o'-lantern you've ever seen?
What is the coolest jack-o'-lantern you've ever seen? That's fine with me. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Because it varies.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about that next week.
Cool.
What's the coolest jack-o'-lantern you've ever seen, people? Let us know.
Thanks, people.
Thanks, people. Thanks, folks. Thanks, people. What is the best jack-o'-lantern you've ever seen? That is our question to you.
Yeah. Wait, should we make it so that it's what you've seen in person, like not like online, because you can see anything online, but in person?
Let's go with that. Actually, let's go with personal tales. Personal tales of woe. Personal
yeah.
tales of woe. Yes.
Okay.
I was gonna say of the crypt, but okay. Ending. Anth0z.
Mattbrush.
Where can the audience find you?
Well, if you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter at Anth0z1. That is ANTH0Z1.
ANT0Z1. ANT0Z1. I didn't say H.
I wasn't paying attention.
That's fine. You can also find me at Mattbrush Gaming, at Mattbrush Gaming, at Twitter, at Mattbrush Gaming. On YouTube, you can find me at Mattbrush Gaming as well, but just don't take the at and take it out. And just make... You take the at, you take it out, and there you have my opening statement. It is Mattbrush Gaming, YouTube. I also put the Scumm Bar podcast on the YouTube, so you can watch or listen to the podcast on YouTube at Mattbrush Gaming. And if you want to contact us at the Scumm Bar Podcast, you can contact us at thescummbarpodcast@gmail.com. The Scumm Bar Podcast at gmail.com. If you could leave us a comment or a review on any of your podcast devices, which would be on Podbean or Spotify or SoundCloud or Podhost or HostPod or Podface or FacePod or iTunes or Earface,
Or iPod or PodPod.
or PodPod. Actually, I like PodPod the best.
Or Podrick
Please leave
from
us a
Game of
review on PodPod, a 10-star review. PodPod's the only one that does 10-star reviews. It's weird.
There should be a podcast platform called Podrick. You know, from Game of Thrones?
Podrick.
There should be.
Podrick. Sir Podrick.
Sir Pod. Yeah, but you know Podrick.
I do, yes. And on anything else, leave us a 5-star review.
Please.
Please. Please, we need it.
Please.
I'm begging you.
Please, no.
Please give us 5.
Please, sir.
Please, sir.
Please,
I
sir.
want more stars.
Have some more stars.
Please, sir, I want more stars. More stars? Yes, sir, more stars. Please, sir, I'm dying here. I need more stars. That's us right now. Yes, and leave a comment, please, because we love your feedback for our message in a bottle segment, which we have to skip because we have no comments because we have no stars. Anyways, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Can I just say you were extremely animated with the ending? Like, so much more than the rest of the podcast. Like, I bet, like, people just listen so they can listen to our ending.
Really?
I want to hear this guy go at the end.
I think it's because in the ending I'm announcer voice, and the rest of the podcast I'm my regular voice.
But I bet they're trying to figure, like, oh, is he going to nail all of them? Like, you list maybe 30 different, like, platforms and accounts.
No, I
that
don't-
you follow and watch or something like that.
I don't think I list
Is he
all
gonna
of
get
them.
them all? Is he going to get them all?
Pretty sure I missed Stitcher.
Oh, yeah? Or 3 peas in a pod?
Yeah.
Is that one?
Yes. Anth0z, why don't you give us a little closing statement? I'm done. I'm done. I'm out of here.
Well, our
give us a closing
forefathers
statement.
did say 7 score and something else ago.
7 score and never more.
That's perfect. Can we just end it there?
That's it.
I like it.
7 score,
And
nevermore.
Call.
5 stars.
You?
You too?